Javal Vitor, this one's for you. The grit and grease of the 1970s Brazilian tracks. The racing scene in Brazil in the early 70s was much more eclectic, high stakes. It really wasn't about brands or corporate sponsors at this time. It was really about the technical limits that a mechanic could do to a street car. This was the era of the Brazilian Tourism Championships, where the races were really not so much a professional league as a high-speed experiment. There was a great divide, D1 and D3. The paddock was essentially split into two worlds. Division 1 was the people's category, the cars you would actually see on the street, at the grocery store, at your local bar, with engines pushing upwards to, oh, Logan, you okay, baby boy? Logan just fell off the couch. With engines pushing 130 horsepower. The thrill of this really came from the mere volume of cars on the track and the accessibility of the sport, the common man's race category. Grassroots racing at its finest. And then a world apart, there was Division 3, and this is where the monsters really lived. In D3, the division really gave the mechanics a blank check to come up with some idea of how to take this little domestic commuter and turn it into some octane guzzling beast. Fun. Talking about massive fender flares, stripped out interiors, roll cages, and specialized suspension setups. These machines, the Opala and especially the Ford Maverick, were pushing upwards of 400 horsepower. They were loud, expensive, and they made your teeth rattle. In this division, there was a massive rivalry on the asphalt between Opala and Maverick. In the heart of the 70s, this was a bitter, tribal rivalry between the Opala and the Maverick. This is really where the Opala was established as the Brasileiro king of the road. For a Brazilian gearhead, you were in one camp or the other. You did not mix those waters. The Maverick brought the muscle and the brute force with the 302 V8. But the Opala with its 250 straight six was legendary, surgical on the track. The Opala eventually dominated the division. And that supremacy is what led to D3's downfall. As those boys over on the Ford team struggled to keep up with the cost of their very expensive Maverick, always one step behind the Opala's mechanical refinement, them boys at Ford threw in the towel. It wasn't even any use to them to try to compete anymore. The Opala was that good. And with the thinning out of the herd, less and less cars showing up, people kind of just lost interest. And as the crowds thinned out, this paved the way for a more affordable division of racing managed by GM. This was an era of technical racing where mechanics were pushing the envelope, getting every little ounce of performance out of every bit of the car. Learning some of the driving and fabrication skills that will later pave the way for some of Brazil's greatest F1 racers and race teams. A time of raw driving talent and mechanical simplicity. Truly a golden age that set the stage for everything to follow. Well, that's it for right now. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe, give a little thumbs up. Let me know in the word box some vehicles you would like me to talk about, and I'll get on that for you. But like I say, I'll see you on the flip side. Até o próximo. Ciao, ciao.